In a kingdom wrapped in endless snow, a queen longed for a child as pure as the winter itself. Her wish was answered, and a girl named Snow White was born, with skin white as snow, lips red as blood, and hair black as ebony. But beauty can be dangerous. When her mother died, the king remarried a woman whose vanity and cruelty matched her magical knowledge. Obsessed with being the fairest of all, the queen's envy grew until it became deadly. Snow White's innocence, courage, and kindness would be tested in ways she could never imagine, as magical mirrors, poisoned apples, and dark forests conspired against her. In a story of betrayal and bravery, friendship and survival, Snow White discovers that true beauty lies far beyond appearances. In a kingdom blanketed by snow, a queen dreamed of a child. Each day she gazed at the pristine white snow, the vibrant red roses, and the deep black ebony of the castle walls, imagining a child who would mirror their colors. One winter, her wish came true. She gave birth to a daughter with skin as white as snow, lips red as roses, and hair as black as ebony. She named her Snow White. Her joy, however, was short-lived. She fell gravely ill and passed away, leaving the child in the care of the king. Snow White grew into a gentle, kind, and intelligent girl. Her beauty was striking, but her charm lay in her kindness. She spent her days wandering the castle gardens, talking to animals and helping the servants. The king, wanting her to be cared for, remarried a woman whose beauty was matched only by her vanity. This new queen owned a magical mirror, which she consulted daily, always expecting it to confirm her as the fairest in the land. As Snow White blossomed, the mirror began to speak a truth that enraged the queen. "Snow White is the fairest of them all." Envy quickly took root in her heart. She could not bear being overshadowed, and her jealousy festered, growing more dangerous with each passing day. Yet Snow White remained innocent, unaware of the dark storm brewing around her. Her early years were filled with simple joys, but the seeds of conflict were planted, waiting to change her life forever. The queen's obsession with beauty became an all-consuming force. Each day she would stand before her mirror, repeating the same demand. "Mirror, mirror, on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" One day the mirror's reply shattered her illusions. "Snow White is the fairest of them all." Consumed by envy, the queen plotted to destroy Snow White. She summoned the king's huntsman, ordering him to take Snow White into the forest and kill her. The huntsman, moved by the girl's innocence, could not harm her. Instead, he begged Snow White to flee and return to the castle never again. Alone in the forest, she wandered among towering trees, her heart racing with fear. After hours of wandering, she stumbled upon a tiny cottage, quaint and mysterious. Inside, she found 7 small chairs, 7 small plates, and 7 tiny beds. Exhausted, she lay down in one bed and fell into a deep sleep. When the 7 dwarfs, miners by trade, returned home, they discovered Snow White asleep. Listening to her story, they were touched by her plight and agreed to shelter her. Grateful, Snow White adapted to her new home, helping with chores, cooking, and cleaning. In this safe haven, she finally felt at peace, though danger still lurked beyond the forest, waiting for the queen's next move. Back in the castle, the queen consulted her mirror once more. "Mirror, mirror on the wall, who is the fairest of them all?" The mirror's answer enraged her. "Snow White is the fairest of them all." Determined to eliminate her rival, the queen used dark magic to disguise herself as a peddler woman. With tattered robes, a hooded cloak, and a basket of shiny apples, she ventured to the dwarf's cottage. Snow White, ever kind and trusting, welcomed the woman. The queen offered a bright red apple, claiming it would grant wishes. Tempted by its beauty, Snow White took a bite and immediately fell into a death-like slumber. The dwarfs returned to find her seemingly lifeless. Grief-stricken, they placed her in a crystal coffin in a serene glade, hoping one day she might awaken. The forest seemed to mourn with them, the animals and flowers silent witnesses to the tragedy. The crystal coffin shone in the sunlight, reflecting Snow White's beauty. The forest itself seemed to cradle her, a silent guardian in her moment of helplessness. Birds perched nearby, singing softly, and flowers leaned toward her as if to console her. Word of her death spread throughout the kingdom, bringing sorrow to all who loved her. One day, a prince traveling through the forest discovered the coffin. Struck by her beauty and grace, he felt an unexplainable connection. He requested to take her to his castle to honor her memory. During transport, a sudden jolt caused a fragment of the poisoned apple to dislodge. Snow White gasped, coughing and awakening to the prince's relief. The prince promised her protection, yet Snow White knew danger was not over. The queen's envy burned brighter than ever, plotting another attempt to claim her life. The forest, once a refuge, had become a stage for the battle between innocence and malice. The queen, discovering Snow White's survival, disguised herself once more, this time as a comb seller. She infiltrated the prince's castle, offering Snow White a poisoned comb. Snow White, cautious but unsuspecting, almost fell victim, but the prince's guards intervened. The queen's schemes unraveled. Her mirror, sensing her downfall, reflected back her own malice. In a dramatic confrontation, the queen's magic backfired, leaving her defeated by her own envy. Peace returned to the kingdom, though the memory of danger lingered. Snow White, now wiser and more cautious, understood the true cost of vanity, jealousy, and greed. She realized that true strength came from courage, kindness, and the loyalty of friends. With the queen gone, Snow White married the prince. The dwarfs, honored for their friendship and heroism, remained her loyal companions. Snow White ruled the kingdom with compassion, ensuring justice and kindness prevailed. She became a symbol of hope, bravery, and resilience. The story of Snow White spread far and wide, a cautionary tale against envy and cruelty. She learned that true beauty lies not in appearance, but in the heart. Her adventures had tested her in ways she could never have imagined, but with courage, friendship, and wisdom, she overcame even the darkest magic. Laughter, joy, and peace returned to the kingdom, ensuring that Snow White's legacy endured, not as a girl defined by beauty, but as a heroine whose heart illuminated the world around her. If you want, I can also rewrite this as a proper dialogue-driven script, including character lines, stage directions, and teen-friendly narration for storytelling or acting, keeping the same 6-part structure.